Welcome to the Time Capsule Unlocked historical channel. This video is about Troy. On the shores of the Dardanelles lies a story hidden for 3,000 years. Everyone thought Troy was a legend until 1870, when the German archaeologist Schliemann began excavations. He found 9 different layers of the city beneath the earth, and in the 7th layer of Troy, he encountered a terrible reality: traces of fire, remnants of war, death. In 1200 BC, this magnificent city was destroyed. Homer's Iliad, perhaps, was true. In historical, we are at the point where legend and reality intersect. The true story of Troy begins now. On the southern shores of the Dardanelles, on a place known as Hisarlik Hill, lies a story hidden for centuries. Beneath this land, one of the most legendary cities of the ancient world, Troy, continues its 1,000-year slumber. For centuries, many considered this city a legend, a myth. Homer's epic poem, the Iliad, the great war that lasted 10 years, the Greek army setting out to reclaim Helen, the famous trick of the wooden horse, all were considered figments of the imagination. But in 1868, everything would change when the German merchant Heinrich Schliemann arrived in these lands. Schliemann was a man who had read Homer's epic poem countless times and believed every line of it. While Western scientists insisted that Troy was merely a myth, he had a different vision. Following the pioneering work of the British archaeologist Frank Calvert, he began excavating on Hisarlik Hill. However, Schliemann's excavation methods were quite aggressive. He even used dynamite to find Priam's treasure, causing serious damage to the upper layers. But in these destructive excavations, he encountered an unexpected truth. Deep within the earth, he discovered not 1, but 9 separate city layers. Each one was evidence that Troy had been built and destroyed repeatedly over thousands of years. Initially, Schliemann believed that the 2nd layer of Troy, bearing traces of fire, was the city described by Homer. He declared the treasure he found there, gold jewelry, diadems, bracelets, and thousands of valuable artifacts, to be Priam's treasure. However, later studies revealed that the 2nd layer of Troy dated back to around 2500 BC, 1,000 years older than the time of the war described by Homer. The real Troy was hidden in much higher layers, the 6th and 7th layers of Troy. Between 1700 and 1200 BC, the 6th layer of Troy represents the city's most glorious period. Strong walls, thick stone blocks, and impressive gates bear the marks of this era. Due to its strategic location controlling the Dardanelles Strait, the city was a center of trade. Its population varied between 7,000 and 10,000. However, this glorious period was shaken by an earthquake around 1250 BC. The city walls collapsed and structures were damaged. Yet, the Trojans did not abandon the city. They rebuilt their cities on the ruins. This is how the 7th A layer of Troy is born. Herein lies the real secret. Layer 7A of Troy tells archaeologists a completely different story. The evidence unearthed during the excavations is shocking. Traces of fire, human skeletons, arrow and spearheads, bronze weapons embedded in the walls, half-finished storage vessels in the street. All of this indicates that the city ended with a war and a violent looting. In some of the houses, quickly abandoned belongings are found. People seem to have fled in fear. The fire engulfed the entire city, leveling Troy 7A. Archaeological findings and historical data indicate that this catastrophe occurred between 1180 and 1200 BC. This date almost perfectly matches the timing of the Trojan War, as described by Homer in the Iliad. But was there really a war? Was Homer's account of the 10-year siege, the Greek army setting out to reclaim Helen, Achilles' wrath, Hector's heroism, and the famous trick of the wooden horse real? Modern historians and archaeologists agree that Homer's epic contains a great deal of literary and mythological elements. The wooden horse is likely a symbol, a metaphor. However, there is strong evidence that a great battle did indeed take place in Troy. Around 1200 BC, the Mediterranean world was shaken by a great crisis. Migratory groups known as the Sea Peoples destroyed many cities in the eastern Mediterranean. The Hittite Empire collapsed. The Mycenaean civilization came to an end. This dark period marked the end of the Bronze Age. Troy was at the very heart of this transformation. Its strategic location controlling the straits always made it an attractive target. Its position on trade routes, its wealth, attracted the attention of both East and West. There may have been a real conflict between the Greek city-states and the powers in Anatolia. Perhaps it didn't last 10 years. Perhaps there was no woman named Helen. But Troy was indeed burned and destroyed. Schliemann's discovery shocked the world. A legend became reality in an instant. However, Schliemann's adventure is a tragedy in itself. He smuggled the treasure he found out of the country illegally. The artifacts were first taken to Germany, then to a zoo in Berlin. During World War II, when the Soviet army entered Berlin, they took the treasure to Moscow as war booty. Today, these artifacts, said to be Priam's treasure, are displayed in the Pushkin Museum. Some are scattered around the world. Some artifacts have been returned to Turkey, but the treasure has still not been able to maintain its integrity. Today, Troy is on the UNESCO World Heritage List. In the ancient site near the village of Tevkiye, visitors can see 9 different layers, walls, gates, and palace ruins. The giant wooden horse model standing at the entrance is a tribute to the legend. In the Troy Museum, thousands of artifacts unearthed from the excavations are displayed. Ceramics, weapons, jewelry, everyday objects, all tell the story of Troy over thousands of years. The true end of Troy came with a fire, a destruction. But this end is also a beginning, because the story of Troy hasn't been buried underground. It has lived on for millennia in the verses of Homer. The brutality of war, the courage of heroes, the power of love and betrayal, all are associated with the name of Troy. After Schliemann's discovery, legend and reality became intertwined. Archaeology confirmed the myth, but couldn't fully explain it. Perhaps this is the real secret of Troy. Even after thousands of years, it still makes us ask questions. Was there really a woman named Helen? Could there have been a 10-year siege? Was the wooden horse real or a metaphor? We may not know the answers precisely, but what we do know is this. Troy was real. The people who lived there were real. And around 1200 BC, that city was destroyed in a terrible way. The traces of fire, arrowheads, skeletons, all are silent witnesses to that moment. The real end of Troy came 3,000 years ago, but its story still lives on here, beneath historic hill. In every stone, every layer, every find. Schliemann discovered a legend, but the real discovery was a gateway to humanity's past. Troy is not just an ancient city. Troy is a place where civilizations collided. Legends were born, and history was written. And for 3,000 years, it has silently waited for someone to tell its story. If you enjoy historical story content, please subscribe to our channel and like the video. Goodbye!